is it time to finally concede that LeBron James is the greatest we've ever seen?
No, I will never concede that. And I've repeatedly stated that on many occasions. But I do want to congratulate him because I do think he's the second greatest player to have ever lived. I think he's on the Mount Rushmore of basketball. He's absolutely phenomenal. I will remind everybody that I have picked him to be my league MVP this year and the Lakers to win the chip because of this man. LeBron James is phenomenal, and we all know that. And this is his 5th triple-double of the season. What he is doing right now, listen, I'm not surprised. The fact that he was out since April, collaborating that time off with the manner in which he dedicates himself to taking care of his body and his conditioning, I am not surprised at all by what I'm seeing, not even a little bit. Matter of fact, the only thing I'm surprised at is that he's only averaging 25 a game. I thought it would actually be about 28 to 29 a game. But everything else that he's doing, I'm not surprised at all. And he just seems to be getting better as the season progresses. Lakers on a 5-game winning streak. They're 12-2. Best record in basketball. This is what they're doing. This is what they're bringing to the table. We get that. But everyone needs to understand where I am with LeBron James when it comes to the greatest ever. The process in which he has gotten to this point. There were so many years where he was devoid of the makeup of the MJ. And since it's the greatest, that's the only reason I'm bringing up Michael Jordan is because we're talking about the greatest ever, who I believe to be as Michael Jordan. Because he was devoid of that assassin's mentality, that killer instinct, that closer ability, etc. That is the reason I will never, ever, ever allow him to be the guy that eclipses Michael Jordan. Because if you could eradicate LeBron James' career from 2003 to 2011, and we went from his first championship to now, I'm going like this. I have to sit back, and I have to rethink this thing. I have to come up with an explanation because
you're holding the journey against him.
The journey, yes, I am. I'm holding the journey. Two things, just so you know. I'm holding the journey, those first 8 years, against Boston in the postseason when people were accusing him of being a no-show, even though I don't really hold that against LeBron James because there was some shady stuff going on against him within the Cleveland Cavaliers organization back in the day that I thought was egregious, and I thought he was betrayed by a lot of people, okay? And so I don't hold that against him that much, but there was a no-show in the postseason, and then the series against the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, those almost count as like 3 NBA Finals for crying out loud. You just can't do what he did. Those are the 2 things, man.
Those are ridiculous reasons to hold against LeBron.
Okay.
Look, what we're asking here is LeBron James the Michael Jordan of basketball? No, Michael Jordan's the Michael Jordan of basketball. He's better than LeBron James.
Okay.
Michael Jordan, at his best, was a higher peak than LeBron, and LeBron sustained his peak longer. But in my view, what we mean when we say greatest, as long as it wasn't just like 1 or 2 seasons, if you sustained your peak for a good amount of time, we're talking about the highest peak. That's clearly Michael Jordan. By the way, the first time Michael Jordan played with another All-Star, he lost to the defending champs in the Eastern Conference Finals by a game because that All-Star had a migraine, only scored 2 points. Okay? The next year, when Scottie Pippen reached his prime, Michael Jordan never again didn't win the finals in under 7 games, retire the prize. But there are different ways of looking at this. I can reframe it and give it to LeBron. I can say, we're talking career value. The very thing that you hold against LeBron, I give him credit for. Because Michael Jordan had 10 real years as MJ. I'm not talking about his rookie season. I don't mean the playoff game against the Celtics. He was hurt that year. I mean, he came back to start his 3rd season. He averaged 37 points. From there till the end of the second three-peat, he had 10 seasons of the best of all time. LeBron James has basically been operating at this level for 15 years. He's 17-year career, but about 15 good seasons operating at this level. The stuff you hold against him, when he wasn't a finished product early, I give him credit for because he was a truly great player, just not as great as he'd one day be. So what do I mean by career value versus peak value? This is an idea Bill James used to promote, when he was writing baseball books in the 80s. If you had a draft, and the point was to win as many games as possible over the course of this player's career, you would take LeBron James over everyone, including Kareem. Like, it comes down to LeBron and Kareem, and LeBron wins. If instead you're like, wait a minute. I want a span of time where we're going to win the championship every year as much as possible. Then you take Jordan. But this is like baseball arguments.
Well,
who's the greatest pitcher of all time? Peak at Sandy Koufax. But he didn't have the career Bob Gibson did. He didn't pitch as long.
Right.
This
Well,
goes on all the time.
Let me say this to you. First of all, I want to do something that you really see on national television. I want to apologize to LeBron James for even having this kind of discussion after the kind of night that he's had and the kind of season he's had, because this is not an insulting conversation. This is a conversation as to whether or not you're one or two in the history of basketball. For those of folks out there that are looking at us, we're not being critical of LeBron James. We're dissecting an elevated level of greatness. Who's the greatest ever between him and Michael Jordan? Of course, I'm going to take those first 8 years against you. Of course, I'm going to take how you might have been a kid, but even as you grew, there were a lot of times you were scared, particularly to get to the free throw line. He was never scared of competition. He was scared of the free throw line, in my estimation, which obviously allowed him to be averse to attacking the basket and rely on fall-away jump shots rather than get to the hole, get fouled, and have to go to that free throw line early in his career. Of course, the finals against the Dallas Mavericks, that never happened to a Michael Jordan. The other thing that I will point out is this, and you don't bring this up enough, but I always do. Competition matters. And when you look at the competition that Michael Jordan had to go through, listen, the competition, I'm talking about the game, the way the game was played, the physicality
LeBron beat the 73-win Warriors on the road.
Listen, you're talking about the finals, you talk about the championship. Remember, I'm talking about his entire career, the level of competition that he's had to go against, playing in that weak Eastern Conference. That wasn't the case when Michael Jordan was playing.
No doubt.
Okay, so all I'm saying is when you look at the level of competition, and by the way, last but not least, we can talk about the 73 team, that's fine. Michael Jordan, we ain't going to even bring up Ewing and Reggie Miller and all of these guys. Michael Jordan beat Magic for his first title. He beat Clyde Drexler and the Portland Trailblazers for his second title. He beat Charles Barkley with Kevin Johnson. Everybody forget how Kevin Johnson was a monster. Kevin Johnson was a monster, okay? Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.